or principle of Kwanzaa is called kuumba. Kuumba means creativity. That's what my life is all about, creativity, right? Creativity makes use of our creative forces, our creative energies, to build, to imagine, to reimagine, and sometimes even reinvent, and to maintain a strong, vibrant community. And the seventh value or principle of Kwanzaa is imani. Imani. Imani means faith, especially faith in ourselves. Faith focuses on honoring the best of our traditions. Faith also draws upon the best that we have within us, and it helps us to strive for a higher level of life for humankind as a whole by affirming our self-worth and confidence in our ability to succeed and triumph in the face of what we call righteous struggle. So faith, imani, is all about, Dr. Martin Luther King talks about this aspect of faith. It's all about taking that first step, even when we can't see the whole staircase, right? So it's about commitment and having confidence in our ability to succeed and triumph in the face of righteous struggle. So the values and principles are about unity of family and community, self-determination with regard to the best interests of our family and community, about working together on behalf of community, society, and the world, and supporting each other so that we meet common needs through mutual support. It's about being intentional about our purpose in a way that benefits the whole. It's about making use of our creative, our imaginative, our innovation, all of those energies to build and maintain a strong, vibrant community. And finally, it's about faith in ourselves so that we strive for a higher level of life for the collective, for all of humanity, for all of humankind. Now, I love these principles. They actually remind me of the values I heard from my own parents and elders when I was growing up. And these values were actually poured into me, instilled in me as I was becoming a young woman. It's all about, who I am. And it's the very heart of what I teach about and what I write about in my work in legacy living. So, I know, that's a lot, right? And a lot of you are wondering, because a lot of people ask me, so what actually happens? What actually happens during this holiday? I mean, it sounds great, but what do you actually do? These are great questions. Great questions, right? So I'll answer these questions, and I also want to share a few stories with you as we celebrate this day, this third day of Kwanzaa, which is all about collective work and responsibility. So, how do we celebrate this holiday? Well, as you might imagine, just like other holidays, there are many, many ways to celebrate this amazing holiday. And what happens during this holiday? Well, here's an example of what happens during a typical Kwanzaa celebration. Now, you must be intentional. You must be intentional about setting aside time to make this or any other holiday special. So how do you do that? How do you make it special? Well, here are a few suggestions. First, decide on the place that you're going to celebrate, right? And then choose a central place for the symbols of Kwanzaa. Now, many people celebrate this holiday in their homes, so a central place could be a room that's set aside, or it could be a table in a particular room, a table in your living room, or maybe your dining room perhaps, or it could be a shelf or a mantle, right? A mantle over the fireplace. Could be a countertop. Maybe it's a special stand or even corner of your room, okay? Something that you have set aside specifically in your home for this celebration. Some people celebrate Kwanzaa in a church or another public place. And so the central place in that church or other public building could be a special area in the lobby, like a table set up specifically for this, or in the sanctuary, or another common area somewhere else in the building. Whatever you choose as your central place, spread the table. Spread the table or shelf or stand or corner with a beautiful piece of African cloth. Then place a mat, or what we call it an mkeka, on top of the cloth. All of the other symbols of Kwanzaa are then placed on the mat or immediately next to it to symbolize our rootedness in tradition. Next, we place a candle holder, a seven unit candle holder, and then we place the 7 candles inside of each of the holders. The 7 candles are black, red, and green. Now, some folks ask me, what are the meaning of the colors of Kwanzaa? Another great question. Black is for the people. Red is for their struggle. It also represents the blood of the ancestors, those who have passed on. Green is for the future and for hope that comes out of the struggle. Therefore, place one black candle, and 3 red candles, and 3 green candles into the candle holder. Now, the 7 candles also represent the 7 principles or values that I just shared with you. The black candle represents the first principle of unity, and it's placed right in the center of what we call the kanara, or the candle holder. The 3 red candles represent the principles of self-determination, cooperative economics, and creativity. And these candles, the red ones, are placed to the left of the black candle. The 3 green candles represent the principles of collective work and responsibility, right, of purpose, and faith. And these candles are placed to the right of the black candle. Now, the black candle is lit first on December 26th, that first day of the celebration, and the remaining candles are lit from left to right on the following days. Now, this order of lighting the candles is to indicate that the people come first. The people come first, then the struggle, then the hope that comes from the struggle. Now, there are many, many other symbols used in the Kwanzaa celebration. The symbols include various crops and 2 ears of corn, a unity cup, African art objects, and books on the life and culture of African people. These symbols, all of these symbols, are placed on or next to the mat. The crops and the 2 ears of corn symbolize children. And it also symbolizes that all of the children of the community belong to all of us, right? These symbols also refer to parents, because in the African tradition, every adult is considered an immediate or a social parent. Now, the unity cup is used to pour libation in remembrance and honor of those who have gone before us, the ancestors. Those men and women who have paved the way, who've paved the path down which we walk on. Those who have taught us the good and the beautiful in life. And the books, of course, symbolize our commitment to our heritage and the importance of learning. Now, during Kwanzaa, we celebrate many, many joyous, wonderful qualities. The most important one that we celebrate is love. Love. Love of family, love of community. We also celebrate the gifts that I just mentioned, and we greet each other in a very special way. We say, Habari Gani, Habari Gani, which means, what's the news? Or, sometimes we like to say, what's happening, right? So Habari Gani is the way that we greet people. Now, we are at the very beginning of Kwanzaa, and I want to focus on one of the 7 days that people tend to get a little confused about, and that day is the third day of Kwanzaa, and it's called Ujima. Now remember, Ujima means working together, our collective work and our responsibility. Collective work and responsibility reminds us of our obligation to the past, present, and future. It also reminds us that we have a role to play, not only in the family, but also in the community, society, and the world. Now, earlier in the show, I mentioned my friend who just came back from Cameroon. My friend is the absolute queen. She's the absolute star queen of collective work and responsibility, not only here in our local community, but also in various parts of the world. So she was in Africa, in the country of Cameroon, for a couple of weeks with several other friends to give well over 1,000 personal hygiene kits to hundreds of girls and young women. Why? Because many of the girls miss school for 5 to 7 days each month during their menstrual cycle. They simply don't have access to personal hygiene products. The hygiene kits that my friend took to Cameroon are all hand-sewn, portable, discreet, and washable. Washable. Can you imagine? So they're reused many, many times. The girls absolutely love these products. They have the hygiene products, and now they don't have to miss school for a whole week each month. How cool is that? Another example of Ujima, or collective work and responsibility, is a story about a remarkable woman named Sarah Farah. I had the good fortune to meet Sarah through a photographer and writer by the name of Joanne Petrina. A number of years ago, I was visiting one of our civic buildings in the city of Seattle. While I was there, I happened to notice an incredible display, wonderful photographs all around the building. And these amazing photos were taken by Petrina. She had apparently devoted several years to painstakingly document the deeply personal and very touching stories, or more accurately, I should say, very touching testimonies of individuals in a Seattle area neighborhood that was home to one of the largest immigrant and refugee communities in the United States. Now, as the heart of this community was being transformed, being altered by the construction of a massive public transit system, Joanne spoke with and captured the stories of her neighbors, these testimonies. All of her neighbors were first-generation immigrants. Now, Petrina decided to do this not only to honor their heritage and culture, to keep their heritage and culture alive, but also to raise awareness about their concerns and challenges and their hopes and dreams. Petrina met with and photographed a number of adults and youth, including Sarah Farah, formerly of Somalia, and now a resident and community leader in her neighborhood. Sarah told Joanne about her life-changing conversation with another Somalian woman who also lived in the heart of this urban U.S. neighborhood. In her own words, Sarah explained, "I decided to start my own business, so I took some college courses. On the day of the final exams,